Ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are, wherever you may be, welcome to Blue Devil Volleyball here at MRH High School. My name is Michael Langston. I'm alongside Michelle Ryan. We're going to be calling both games of today's action for you, both the JV and varsity, between the MRH Blue Devils and the Brentwood Eagles. Both of these teams, of course, playing in their first games of the season. It is MRH's home opener, of course. Last season, these two teams, well, Michelle, as the buzzer goes off, they met a lot. MRH beat the Brentwood Eagles in the district playoffs. MRH, of course, the #1 seed, and they won districts overall with that. And Michelle, looking at this team, obviously you still go here. I kind of want to know, what are your thoughts coming into today's game? Have you talked to any of the players? What do you think?
Yes, I have. I've talked to Chloe Moorland, who's on the varsity team, and everyone's just happy to have a season right now. No one expected to play, and although we aren't going to state this year, we're just happy to have a game against Brentwood. So here we are. We're getting ready for our junior varsity game, which is just exciting for everyone. All the girls are able to have more playing time, seeing as a couple of varsity members are now on a club team.
And with that, we are getting ready to go here. MRH is going to be on the far side wearing the blue tops, black bottoms. Brentwood is going to be on the near side, or the left side of your broadcast. They have the purple tops and black bottoms. Blue Devils are coached by Cheryl Carmen and Amber Jordan. We get the applause getting ready. We are getting ready for the first serve of the season. Goes over the net. It's a bump right back over. Maplewood plays it.
Oh.
And a bump back over to keep it alive. Brentwood has it. It looks like a weird bump. And MRH will take the first point. Now it's MRH is going to have the serve. She'll let that one drop and try it again. Overhand serve over, and that one is an ace for the Blue Devils. They're first on the young year. Michelle, looking at the aces, looking at what the Blue Devils need to do, especially with this young team, a bunch of girls trying to prove themselves going up to the varsity squad, what do you think Coach Carmen is looking for in these guys?
Well, I just think consistency, especially next year. She's hoping for kids that will play the whole 4 years with her, and I think she's hoping to see that with these kids. I see a junior out there, so wait, never mind, that's another student. But I think she's hoping to see them continue on, and that's what we have a lot of. We have seniors and juniors constantly helping kids in freshman and sophomore years so that they can continue and they can raise the next year of volleyball students.
And there were 3 straight aces there for the Blue Devils, make it 4-0. Changes to 5-0 for MRH over Brentwood. Now, the last time that the Brentwood Eagles were able to beat MRH, we have to go back to 2017, October of 2017.
Oh, look at that.
And that one is another ace for MRH, 6 straight. Timeout is called by Brentwood. We got a minute to just sit back, relax, talk about the fact that MRH is up 6-0, Michelle.
That's pretty incredible. Our setter has been really good.
We're looking here at who we got on the JV team as well. You talk about the junior on that team. That's Minnie Durham.
That was Minnie Durham. I wasn't able to see from up here. I just saw her blonde hair.
Yeah, Minnie Durham also involved in Blue Devil Athletics. She's been in a couple plays. Or Blue Devil Athletics, I mean, of course, Blue Devil Theater. She's been in a couple plays. Her brother, Malcolm, her older brother, also involved with the Blue Devil baseball team.
Yeah, she was also in cheerleading freshman year, if I remember correctly, so she's always been very involved.
And I think you're going to see kind of a theme with both Brentwood and MRH. A lot of these kids are involved in multiple sports, and that's actually really conducive to just better athleticism overall. Maplewood. Yeah, Maplewood with the serve. The horn goes off. They forgot to turn it off. That's all right, though. That ball goes out, it looks like. Yep, and that will be the first point for the Eagles of the contest. Overhand serve.
Oh, a great dig.
And that one is a point for Brentwood. Brentwood's going to line up again for the serve. Overhand is over the net, and that bump. It's a good save by Maplewood. And they're going to say, it looks like a net violation maybe, and it's going to be Brentwood's point. Carmen's trying to get some clarification on that one.
All right. That was still a very good save by number 12 just a moment ago.
That one's out. MRH gets back on the board after losing 3 straight. 7-3, the Blue Devils over the Eagles here at MRH Gym. In the first set of the JV matchup between these two. We got varsity coming at you at 5 as the serve by MRH. It's over the net. 2 bumps to save and a bump to
hits
try.
the net by number 1.
And with that, MRH will get another point. And an ace for the Blue Devils right off the serve. 9-3 MRH. So just watching this game right now, who are some of the key players for the Blue Devils, do you think, Michelle?
Well, I'm noticing that we're having some very good serves. Everyone that's come up to serve has been very consistent, and we've scored a number of aces just in the first couple minutes alone, which I think was probably something that was thought out beforehand by Carmen. I'm sure she managed to make people practice their serves because this is how they're racking up points right now.
And we know Carmen, she expects the best. She is, of course, a state champion track teacher in addition, as Brentwood will get the ace off of the serve. Score now is going to be, it looks like 9-5, unless they changed it on me and I didn't see it. It's 9-5, yeah. So Cheryl Carmen, in addition to being an awesome coach, she's also the geometry teacher here. And I'll tell you, as that one's going to be an ace for the Eagles, whenever I miss a assignment in geometry class, I feel like her stare alone was going to, put me in detention.
Oh yes, definitely. I think I actually enjoyed her class quite a bit because I felt like she had a very serious and authoritative way of teaching, which I think translates very well to volleyball.
Exactly. But right now, you can tell she's trying to encourage on the JV team as Brentwood has picked up a couple points off of aces. It's an underhand serve over. 2 bumps by MRH and a spike to put it over.
Great job. 13.
And it's looking like here, what are they calling? Was it another net violation? It looked like it was.
Yeah, I think.
Brentwood again with the serve. It's an underhanded one. A set and a bump, and the bump will put it back over. Brentwood tries to spike it. Minnie Durham tries to save it, but it won't. And Brentwood coming back from down 6-0 to start off the contest. It's tied 9-9.
Yeah. Maplewood has lost its lead.
And that one will go out on the serve. MRH will be back up 10-9. And I like what you said about effort because, number one, MRH, obviously, they're not letting the ball just die. They're actually going out, running for it. They're being smart with their play. But Brentwood, though, Coach Erica Robertson said as that serve will go for a fault and Brentwood will tie it back up. Coach Erica Robertson said that some of the biggest keys to her team is, number one, the heart that they have, and number two, the amount of effort that they're going to have to put in.
Definitely, especially when this season isn't ending in a state championship. It's more of practice for this year. And I guess a little bit of gloating rights as well.
And that bump to try and save the ace there doesn't go well. Brentwood takes their first lead of the contest. They set up for the serve again. Instead, she'll let it drop, give it another go. Jim always gets deathly quiet on the serves as it's 2 bumps for MRH. It goes over.
13 tries to save it.
And that will be a Brentwood point. Was Kayla Brooks there trying to make the save for the Blue Devils. As that serve's going to hit the net, MRH will get a point back. It's back to 1 point. Now, if you haven't really watched volleyball before, I'm going to let you know that the games go to 25, but you have to win by 2 points. It's kind of like tennis. And that serve right there will be an ace for the Blue Devils. They'll tie it back up at 12-12. So when we say that you have to win it by 2, you kind of want more of the play that you saw at the beginning versus now where it's real back and forth, the score gets real tight. You can keep going up to probably like almost 30 points. Those 2 bumps to set it up were not good for Minnie Durham, who kind of whiffs on the shot a bit. That's all right, though. And Brentwood is going to take the lead again. It is 13-12 Eagles in the first set of this JV game. The serve over.
It looks like it was out.
The refs call it in.
But it was in. Yeah, the thing with volleyball is that if any part of the ball touches the line, it is considered in. So it may look like out to the person standing closest to the line, but if any part of the ball touches it, it is considered a point for the team that served.
And it's also interesting to note the people judging that, the line judges, it's just one player from each team, as that one is an ace for the Eagles. They get their lead expanded up to 3, 15-12 Brentwood. That serve is bumped over. It kind of hits the top of the net and will hit the ground. And they will call that a point for MRH. You got a little bit of nervousy there with Maplewood not wanting to celebrate that one right away because of how many times they've had a net violation in this game. As that one will go out for an ace. Man, both of these teams are collecting aces like nobody's business. Served by MRH is hit right back over.
Oh, good job, Mike.
And Minnie Durham. You talk about, we've been talking about Minnie Durham a lot. That little bump there to get it back over, I don't know if Brentwood was really expecting that.
No, it was like a backwards bump. It ended up quite well at the beginning line of the attackers.
And then you have another ace for MRH. And you're going to have a sub here for Brentwood. Looks like it's their first sub of the match, if I'm not mistaken. Brentwood will serve it up. Maplewood sets it up with 2 bumps, and they spike it. And they bump it over for the Eagles, and Maplewood just lets it go by to tie it back up at 16 all.
All right. Looks like Minnie Durham is going to serve for Maplewood.
It's a good overhand serve, and she gets the ace.
Number 5 tried very hard to save that.
Not mistaken on our rosters, that's listed as Bridget Fitzgerald, but you know, sometimes with the rosters, we might not assume all the names because sometimes, hey, they can be wrong, as that's another ace for Minnie Durham. 2 straight.
She'll serve again.
Durham hits it. That one will be a fault, and Brentwood will pick up a point. So you got the opportunity to sit down and talk with Coach Carmen. You've talked about it before with how they're really looking to prep for next year. What do you think were some of the biggest things in practice that these Blue Devils have been doing?
Well, we can see here how good their serves have been. It's been very consistent. We've gotten a lot of aces. I wouldn't be surprised if that was something that was focused on. It's very hard to practice these days. Everyone has to have masks on. There's odd hours depending on what other sports are playing in the gym or on the track. So I'm sure they had to be very creative on picking the most important things to work with.
And you're talking about serves. That's another ace for the Blue Devils after they picked up 1 point. So now it is 20-17 here in the first set. Another serve by MRH. That one will go wide. Serving that one for the Blue Devils was Savannah Winning, the freshman. And now it's going to be Brentwood with the serve. Overhand serve, that one will be an ace. Kayla Brooks just couldn't get there in time for the Blue Devils.
Brentwood serves again.
It's an overhand serve over. It was a bump by Durham to get it back over. It's playing tic-tac-toe right now, but the Blue Devils aren't able to corral it. The Eagles will get the point. They will tie it again. It is 20-20 here in the first set. Overhand serve again, but that one looked like it might have had a little spin on it, Michelle, as it goes in for the ace.
Yeah, especially as it went towards the right. No one was able to get there in time.
And that will cause a timeout called by MRH. You can tell that by the way Brentwood was celebrating.
This is a time where a team will probably want to pull ahead to make sure, as you said, there's not that 2-point disparity. You want to be ahead by 2 points in this game, so this is where you really want to take advantage, especially with those aces that we saw at the beginning of this game.
In your mind, you're seeing it's Coach Jordan right now, Coach Amber Jordan, who's also the athletic director here at MRH. She is the one talking to the JV girls right now. Carmen's kind of stepping back, letting her go. You can see Carmen kind of shaking her head over at the MRH bench. What do you think Coach Jordan is telling those gals right now for the Blue Devils?
Well, probably to continue with those serves, to get there in time. I noticed that there was a few instances where there's a player right in front of the ball, but they just weren't able to save it. So I think probably to keep your eyes open, and especially towards the front of, just towards the net, to not be afraid to get there and to bump it over.
Brentwood again will serve. One goes over, and that one will go out. That run of consecutive points dashed for Brentwood. It's tied again, 21 all. MRH is going to serve. That's an overhand serve over the net that will turn into an ace for Lexi Brooks of the Blue Devils.
Lexi will serve again for us.
Another overhand serve. It's pretty hard, and it's got a little bit too much spin on it. It goes out of bounds. We're tied again at 22. You can see when it gets tight like this and the game's getting kind of late, especially this set, you got a little bit more energy going, and everybody. You could see Carmen over there kind of jumping up and down, getting ready for it, the players. It's an underhand serve by Brentwood. And good saves there, and it will turn into a point for MRH. They turned something out of nothing there. Now they have the 1-point lead. Remember, you got to win by 2. MRH, 2 away. Underhand serve will go over the net, and they will tip it, and that one is an ace, kind of unexpectedly.
I'm pretty sure Brentwood assumed that would go out, but it just managed to stay in. Vida will serve again.
And that is match point. If the Blue Devils get this point, which they will, they win the first set final of that one, 25-22. And MRH comes away with the first set win. They'll take some time to talk it over before starting the second set. Michelle, looking at that first set, what'd you like? What'd you dislike? What was interesting? Your thoughts?
Well, I think it was surprisingly close, especially with how we started this game. I think Maplewood saw this game as a little bit too close for comfort. Brentwood definitely did a very good job. They began definitely handing it back to Maplewood towards the middle. But at the end of the day, MRH did win that set, and I'm sure they're hoping that they can take back the second set. I think both teams served very well, but a few players had trouble getting there in time when it came to serves that came to the front, near the net, the attackers, or towards the back in the corner. There was a few times where players maybe didn't call when they should have, and they didn't get there. So I'm sure they will try to remedy that this coming set.
And if you're looking over at Brentwood, some of the guys over there look a little bit disheveled just because, you know, you lose a close set like that. What do you think they're being told by Coach Erica Robertson? What do you think they have going through their heads right now as they try to rebound here for the second set?
Well, I think it's very important for them to win this coming set, because by the third set, everyone's going to be very tired. Emotions are going to be running very high. So I think if they want to feel like they have a winning chance toward the third set, it will definitely be important that they cement themselves for this coming second set. MRH looking very relaxed in their corners. They prepare for this upcoming set.
Some of them look like they just kind of want to kick back.
Definitely.
Well, just a reminder that after this second set that we will be having just shortly, you got the timer up there. We got about a minute and a half before the buzzer will go off, and hopefully we can get our first serve to start it off. Right after this, hopefully starting at about 5 o'clock, we will have the varsity game between the Blue Devils and the Eagles. It will be the first varsity matchup of the season for those two teams. And Maplewood, they've got a bit of a winning streak on that. Like I said earlier, MRH has beaten Brentwood a lot. And the last time that Brentwood was able to beat the Blue Devils was on October 10th, 2017. That was my senior year in high school. The last time that Brentwood was able to beat MRH here in the MRH gym was homecoming night 2017, which was September 22nd. I talked with Coach Erica Robertson about that, and she said, while obviously there's a lot of emotions running high, what she wants is for the kids to be able to come home with a win.
I think that was a major disappointment of this year, not for the volleyball not being able to play at homecoming. I think that was something lots of people look forward to, seeing as Maplewood has such a good volleyball team led by such great teachers. So I'm sure JV and varsity are enjoying the chance to finally play against Brentwood at what usually would have been a homecoming game.
And of course we do have, when we talk about how good Maplewood volleyball has been, since 2009, 3 district championships for the varsity team, 2 straight in 2018-19, and they haven't had a losing season since 2015. Only 9 losses combined for the Blue Devils since 2015. And now MRH will get ready to serve to start off this.
It's like Savannah winning is serving for us.
For the second set, they're just trying to make sure they got all their formations right for Brentwood. And Michelle, I think you should take it away.
Alrighty then. Well, Savannah, she serves very well. A great dig, and it lands just in. Minnie was not able to get there on time, unfortunately. Point for Brentwood. Brentwood is serving for us. Although Lexi bumped it, looked like there was a little bit of discombobulation at the net there. Currently it's 1-1.
Let's see if Maplewood and Brentwood are both able to kind of keep it easy around the net. That was kind of what doomed them in the last set.
Lexi hits it into the net. We're to Brentwood for their serve. Out. All right, back to Maplewood. Having number 9, Lyda, serving for us. Brentwood tries its best, but it was a very powerful bump, which wound up being out.
That's a smart play there by number 8, Lexi Brooks, the freshman, being able to recognize with the spin on it that it was going to go out.
Number 5 bumps it again. Lexi Brooks tries her best. I'm seeing a lot of really great plays from her. Like you said, she's able to recognize what's out and what's in very well, which is difficult, seeing as if the ball even touches the line in the slightest, it's considered in. And that was out.
You know, with a lot of freshmen, you're not expecting that level of maturity, that level of knowledge just in any sport because, you know, it's their first season at the high school level. They might have a little bit of nerves. They're looking for something to prove. But Lexi Brooks being able to recognize how the spin is going on the ball, what's going in and out, that's very mature. That's almost like what you might see out of a junior or senior.
Oh, Lexi Brooks sends it over. It's another point for MRH. Lida is serving for us. Brentwood accidentally hitting it out of bounds. They have called a timeout. I'm sure they're trying to figure out a strategy.
And then you're coming off of the ace, which, again, we're not seeing as many this time around.
No, I think everyone was there's still a lot of exhaustion from the first set, and I'm sure they're trying to bring it back this set. And I don't think they were expecting some good plays from Maplewood so early in the set, which is what we noticed last set as well. So,
and you can kind of see the difference in attitudes, the difference in atmosphere right now. Brentwood, when they were in their huddle, it looked like Coach Erica Robertson was being very methodical about everything. You could see she's talking a lot with her hands, trying to plot out where she wants her players to be, where she wants them to go. Meanwhile, you got some of the Maplewood players dancing. They're having a good time because they know they've got the momentum.
Yeah, I think they're very relaxed, especially being on their home court. Lida serving for us again. Oh, and immediately you can see it's an out. So I'm sure Brentwood is happy to gain possession. And they still have a chance to, they have a 4-point difference between scores. They still have a chance to manage to catch up with MRH. Oh, and it looks like there's a little bit of confusion there. It looks like number 10, Savannah, got in the way when it would have been an out, but that's okay. Brentwood is serving again. Another point for Brentwood.
That right there, that's a really good read to be able to write, because especially when you get close to the net like that and you got a kind of a spin and you're coming from a position more central, you're not 100% sure where that ball might land.
Wow, yet again, there's a little bit of disparity on where the ball was going. It was very close to the net. I don't think Brentwood was thinking that it would land on their side, especially since MRH did rush to the net to try and send it over. MRH serves. Looks like number 25 tried to dig, but it did get sent out of bounds. Another point for MRH. Brentwood is giving a very admirable effort, and there still is a chance for them to catch up with MRH.
When you talk about JV just in general, a lot of times the issues that you're trying to iron out are communication issues.
Definitely.
Who's going for a ball, who's doing what. And you're seeing that right now in these couple sets, especially with those balls closer to the net.
Lexi tries to send it back to Brentwood, but it gets tangled in the net. Definitely, with communication, the newer JV don't know especially what they're good at yet. They might be very hesitant to call if they don't know they can get there in time. Brentwood sends it over, and Brentwood gets a point.
It's another ace. We got like an ace farm going on here, so we got a ton of them.
Definitely. Minnie Durham sending it to Brentwood. Brentwood, a powerful spike, and goes out of bounds, unfortunately, for Brentwood.
Blue Devils will pick up a point on it. 10-7, MRH over the Eagles here in the second set. Blue Devils won the first set, 22-25. Looked like another communication issue there. She kind of went for a set when she should have tried a bump with how the ball was descending on her so much.
The ball is back to Brentwood. Number 31 serving for Brentwood. is a very good rally going on. 22 tries to save it for Brentwood. There was a very good back and forth going on, lots of assistance, lots of setting and bumping. We had quite a bit of a back and forth, but eventually Maplewood did get the point. Minnie Durham is serving again for Maplewood.
One of the things I talked to Coach Erica Robertson about with Brentwood was the atmosphere. You know, what will the atmosphere be like? It's not like a normal MRH Brentwood game, as that one goes over and Brentwood will put it back, but it will stay in, and the Eagles will get the point.
It was in, barely in. Brentwood gets the point. They're catching up slowly. MRH is at 12. Brentwood is at 9.
Normally the loudest games for the Eagles are when they're playing MRH either in this gym or theirs. And, you know, with the varsity watching from the sideline because they have their game after this, as that one goes out for an ace for the Eagles, it kind of feels like you still have that atmosphere. She was a little worried that she might not have it this time around, but with the varsity players making noise, the bench making noise, it kind of feels like a good old Eagles Blue Devils game.
Yeah, expectations are still as high as ever. I think both teams equally want to win this game. It is disappointing not having all the parents and friends watching, all the spectators, but I'm sure there are plenty of people watching at home enjoying this game. Wow. I don't think that ball was called. It looked a little bit like a communication error.
That's one of those errors that, again, you got to, you know, find a way to get kind of ironed out at the JV level.
Oh, look at that. Savannah served for us, if my roster is correct.
You know, we did mention that we wish we could have you here in the stands. That's all right, though. We got you on the live stream. We got about 56 of you guys, so thank you all for watching. All of our friends in Maplewood, Richmond Heights.
And we've got some Brentwood families as well tuning in.
Yeah, even our Brentwood fans, we love you too.
Yep. Another point for MRH. Had a break called.
Not sure who the timeout was called on, but
no.
We get a breather.
Yeah. The game is going so fast, so many good plays, it's a little bit hard to keep up with everyone.
It looks like the MRH varsity team, they're going to be wearing black tops and black bottoms for their game, which is scheduled to start about 5 o'clock with all the warm-ups and stuff. It looks like we might be able to hit that marker, hit that goal. But they are going out into the hallway right now to get their stretches started. You can see, you can hear too. MRH is kind of hype.
Definitely. I think they feel very confident playing on their home court, especially with their varsity team playing right after them. Number 5 sends it over, and it appears to have just gone out. How disappointing for Brentwood. It did appear to look like it was in, but...
And you got an ace there for the Blue Devils. That's just going to help the momentum more and more and more. 17-11 is the score in the second set. Blue Devils won the first one, 25-22.
Savannah serves. And disappointing for Brentwood. Maplewood is celebrating their ace.
I think they took a second to put the score on there. It's now 19-11.
Point for Brentwood, just barely touched the line. I think Minnie thought that was out.
Yeah, sometimes you're going to have a read like that. It just, with the power on the ball, the spin, you might think it's going to go out, but...
especially just with the adrenaline, you know.
There's yet another one of those communication issues for Brentwood. It lets another ball drop in between two players, and again, it will cost them another point. 22-12, the Blue Devils on top.
Lexi serves, and it looks like an ace.
This JV team for the Eagles is pretty deep. They've got 4 bench players, considering the fact that you've got a lot of people either playing another sport or people because of COVID, they don't want to risk playing. To have 4 players on your bench at a JV level for smaller schools like this is pretty big.
Yeah, especially since MRH's team has suffered a little bit with players choosing to play a club sport this year. I wonder if Brentwood is having a similar problem with players deciding to play club. But it does look like they have a number of subs, so that's pretty surprising, seeing as it doesn't look like I see any subs for the JV team.
Looks like the JV team for MRH.
Well, I do see 2, but it doesn't look like they're in uniform.
I know I saw in uniform at least one of them was Ellen Powell, as MRH has game point on the Eagles. 24-13 is the score here in
They only need 1 more point, and they will win the set.
In the second set.
Brentwood is serving. I think they're hoping to turn this game around. A great attack by number 12. A point for Brentwood.
You know, they say it in a lot of sports. The hardest thing to do is the last thing. The hardest point to get in tennis and volleyball, it's that last point. The hardest thing to do in baseball is to get that last out. MRH, they're feeling it a little bit. The hardest thing to do to wrap this one up, get that last point.
Brentwood's definitely fighting for it. They're definitely trying to make sure Maplewood can't walk away with the second match.
Brentwood made it pretty close in the last one, too. It was only separated by about 3. At one point, MRH had a 10-plus point lead with the game point. Now it's 24-15.
And another point for MRH. They've won the second set.
They win the second set. They wave to each other because that will end it.
Yeah, it looks like MRH has won this game. Very good sportsmanship. I feel like Brentwood and Maplewood, as much as there is tension for winning this game, I do think they enjoy playing one another, and I think they were very happy to have this game this year.
And we're going to have a lot of games for not only Brentwood and MRH, but pretty much all over the St. Louis area. And with that, we will take a break. My name is Michael Langston. I'm alongside Michelle Ryan. We've got the varsity game coming up right after this between MRH and the Brentwood Eagles.
MRH's varsity team is walking in black.
That's right. The MRH team will be wearing black tops and black bottoms for their game. Not sure yet what Brentwood will be wearing, but we'll see that in a second. Again, the varsity game should be coming up at about 5 o'clock for you. Michelle and I are going to say goodbye for now. Again, the MRH JV team beats the Brentwood JV team in 2 sets, 25-22 and 25-15. We will have varsity for you in just a little bit. And ladies and gentlemen, we are back here at MRH High School for girls volleyball action between the Brentwood Eagles and the MRH Blue Devils. Both teams are going to be wearing black tops and black bottoms. If you're wondering, all right, well, who is who? MRH is going to have some white stripes kind of down their side. Brentwood is going to have kind of the darker purple. MRH will be on the far side on the right, Brentwood on the left. My name is Mike Langston. I'm alongside Michelle Ryan. Our crew today, we've got Chris Works, Eliza Agers, and Mr. John Redden. We're excited to be bringing you volleyball action. The MRH Blue Devils JV team played before this. They were able to beat MRH in 2 sets. Our starting lineups for the Blue Devils, you have Tegan Daw, Amber Day, Rachel Dickens, Abby Gerhard, Chloe Moorland, Helena Roberts, and Abby Stone. Brentwood will have the serve. And this one is underway. That one was a hard serve, tried to be corralled there by the Blue Devils, and it was not. Abby Stone trying to bump that one. It will turn into an ace. And with that, Brentwood will take the 1-0 lead to start off. And it looks like they're trying to make sure the line judges are in the right spot. That's a serve over, is saved there by MRH's libero, but it will go into the net. Brentwood will take the point, 2-0 Eagles. A hard serve there by Brentwood. It will be saved. They have it back. A bump and it will go over. Maplewood with 2 bumps. A spike by Daw. But Brentwood is able to corral it. They set it over. MRH setting up again. A spike. Saved by Brentwood. That bump will go back over. A good volley going here. MRH will just barely be able to bump it over. Brentwood saves it. A little lack of communication there, but it works out. Maplewood has it again. The bump saves him, and it goes back over. Line up for the spike, and she goes right into the net, and MRH will get its first point.
Well, already I'm noticing that varsity's playing with a lot more energy than JV, and we've had a very good rally so far between both teams.
You have Daw setting up for the serve. She gets it over. Brentwood able to corral it. The spike to try and get it over won't work. It goes under the net. And the Blue Devils will tie it at 2. Daw again with the serve. A diving try there. Will go for naught for the Eagles. It's an ace for the Blue Devils, their first of the contest. We saw a lot of aces in the JV contest.
Daw serves again for us. Brentwood, number 2 sends it back to MRH.
And up they go. There's a spike. And a spike sent over. And the line judge is going to call it in. It looks like it might have been out, though. I have to look at the replay on that one. It looks like our replay's a little far behind, so we're still in that first series. Either way, it's a serve going over the net. Brentwood has it. It's off the rafter. Brentwood's able to get a little sneak back on it. And Brentwood has it again on their side of the net. Tries to bump it over really hard, but just didn't have enough juice on it. 4-3 Blue Devils. You can see, if you're watching, that there's looks like a little blue speck just kind of running all over on the MRH side as that one is served. That's Rachel Dickens. She's the senior libero for the Blue Devils. And that one's put back over by MRH. Brentwood has it. 2 bumps, but it goes off the tarp and lands back down. And MRH will take the point.
Chloe Moorland serving again.
So with this tarp that we have kind of hanging over here, is that one is a serve, and it will go back over, and Brentwood will take the point. With this tarp going back over, we've had a lot of different plays that have developed because of the tarp kind of hanging right over center court. How much do you think the tarp is going to come into play today?
I think not as much as JV, because varsity is very good at keeping up a rally, as we've seen so far. Currently, they're tied at 5-5, but I do think it could get a little bit messy if there's not enough communication, and it could lead to people not calling when they should or not getting there on time, in which case I think it will make a little bit of a difference.
It's a little heave-ho there by Rachel Dickens to get the ball back over, and it's a spike by Brentwood, but it's a little too hard. It's got a little bit too much spin on it, and it will go out. Speaking of Dickens, she will sub off of the court. Coming in will be Abby Gerhard for the Blue Devils, and they will serve. 2 bumps. Kind of missed the mark there on one of them for the Eagles, but they get it back over for the Blue Devils. And the Blue Devils, well, they'll bump it right back. A setup for a spike, and that one is saved by the Blue Devils. Quick little move there, and MRH will pick up a point. It's a great move there by Abby Gerhard, the sophomore middle hitter.
Elena serving for us again, and it hits the net. It's to Brentwood.
The Eagles with it again. Overhand serve. It's able to be saved, and that one gets bumped over the net. Brentwood again with it. A spike attempt. It is saved. There's a whistle. And, oh, it looks like it might have been a net violation or something, but Brentwood's going to get the point. And Tegan Daw, at the last second, ducks because she doesn't want to get hit in the face with that one.
Turned out to be a blessing in disguise because it did go out.
Yeah, it goes out. MRH gets the point. They get the serve back, but they will give it right back over as Abby Stone kind of misses there on the serve. We know, we talked about this a lot in the JV game. It's the first game of the year. You know, you've had about 2 weeks of practice still. You're not necessarily in your normal schedule, as that one will hit the net and the Blue Devils will get another point. What do you think these guys are thinking? You know, it's their first game of the season. A lot of these guys, it's their first time playing on varsity.
I think they've had to reorient their goals a little bit. There's not really as much to shoot for as in years past. I think we're on a schedule where we play a number of teams, but we're not going to state. So I think varsity has to consider about the up-and-coming varsity members, the kids that are currently on JV, kids in sophomore year, or kids that are freshmen. So I think lots of these seniors have decided they'd like to help train some of the kids that are on JV. Because for a couple of seniors, I mean, for all the seniors, this is their last year, but a number of juniors, this is going to be their second to last year on the team. So they've really been focusing on training younger players. And I think for this game, it's more of a game just to get some sort of sense of normalcy, just being able to play Brentwood again, a game that would usually be on homecoming. I think they're just glad to honestly have a game. No one expected to have a season this year.
We know Chloe Moorland was talking about that to you before the game earlier this week, as that one will be served over. 11-9 MRH on top as Brentwood bumps it over the net. Daw trying to set up for a spike. Instead, she will bump it, and Brentwood will play it. You got 2 sets lined up for the spike. It goes right into the net. 12-9 Blue Devils. And conversely, to talk about Brentwood, I was able to speak with their coach, Erica Robertson. She said that this team is a bit rusty right now just because of COVID. They lost a couple players to graduation. They lost some to COVID in terms of them either deciding to opt out or deciding to play another sport. They're losing. They lost one of their better players. It was number 3, Lane Coran. She was a senior that played all the games last year. That's a great save by Brentwood, and they will come away with the point.
That was a very good dig. I think they sort of surprised themselves there. MRH was equally surprised. And here they are, they're back in possession of the ball.
Blue Devils still have the lead, but Brentwood look like they're trying to get a little bit of momentum here. The libero for MRH has clocked back in. That's Rachel Dickens. As that's a spike, and that one is saved.
An
and
excellent
MRH,
block.
Helena Roberts will get the point for Maplewood. We want to say hi to all 60 watching on the YouTube live stream, whether you're in Maplewood, Brentwood, Richmond Heights. As that one goes out of bounds, and it will be Brentwood's point. We're going to have a lot of broadcasts this year. Be sure to tune into all of them, or just as many as you can. We don't expect all of them, but you know, a lot would be pretty good. As that one is spiked over.
Very powerful spike by, looked like Abby Stone.
And Abby Stone kind of making a difference here for the Blue Devils. As that serve goes over, Brentwood will play it off of 2 bumps and a spike that goes into the net. 16-11 MRH. Again, if you're just joining us, this is varsity girls volleyball here at MRH High School between the Brentwood Eagles and the MRH Blue Devils. As Maplewood serves that over, and they will call, looks like a net violation. It will be the ball for the Blue Devils.
We're currently at 17-11. MRH is in the lead, and a timeout has been called.
Brentwood calls time. And if you're wondering, all right, well, both teams are wearing black. Which one is which? MRH is going to be on the far side or the right side of your screen. They also have the one player wearing blue. That one player is Rachel Dickens. She is the libero. Liberos, of course, are always wearing a different color uniform than the rest of the team. So if you see a random blue uniform just kind of darting in between a bunch of black uniforms, that side is MRH. Brentwood, on the other hand, they are on the left near side. They are also wearing black uniforms, but they have a bit of a kind of dark purple stripe on them. As that one is served up, and MRH will come away with the ace. Blue Devils, of course, if I could speak sometimes, of course, are coached by Cheryl Carmen. As that serve just barely nicks the top of the net and gets over, Brentwood is able to play it back, though. It's a bump to get it back over to Maplewood. That spike right there is a kill for Abby Stone.
That was a very, very good play, especially since no one was in that corner at the time. Everyone was very preoccupied by what was happening closer to the net.
That serve there by MRH will go over, and Brentwood will bump it right back. Maplewood looking to try and set something up here. Here comes Stone again with the spike. She's got so much power she doesn't even need to jump when she does it. Brentwood tries to spike it, but it will go into the net.
Maplewood only needs 5 more points to win the first set.
Remember back to the JV game, MRH won both of those. And that one goes over. Sneaky little move there by Brentwood. They're able to finally end that streak. That is number 6, Caroline Gambas for the Eagles. That one goes over on the serve. Maplewood trying to set up. And the spike there to just try and get the ball back over the net. Not good for Rachel Dickens. And Brentwood maybe possibly going on another little run here. Maplewood will bump it back over after the serve. Brentwood will spike it. It
Very good
stays in.
save.
It's a great save, and Brentwood will come away with the point. You just said it. That was a great save. I mean, you got to react like that. Quick, little split-second decision. What do you think she's trying to gauge there?
Well, I think definitely as libero, she is used to being the defense towards the middle of her side of the court. So I think she has to be quick thinking. And I think I'm honestly seeing a lot of action from her. She's just being as a substitute.
Rachel Dickens subs off, gets a little bit of a breather. Last season, she had 27 digs. She got a point off of a dig just there. Now MRH trying to spike it back over the net, but that one will not go for Abby Gerhard. And the Blue Devils, they still have their lead, but it's shrinking. It's 21-15. That hard serve for Brentwood will go over the back line, and Maplewood will get that point back. 22-15 now. Here in the first set, we've got a set after this one, at least one more.
Abby Stone serves for us, and it was an out. It's very hard with these serves. There's so much, players have so much power that it can easily go out.
Especially with Abby Stone, because we've seen a couple spikes for her today, and she hasn't needed to jump to gain any momentum or anything like that. She just serves it up and spikes.
With a single hand, just whack, it goes over the net.
Almost flat-footed on that as Brentwood has it on their side, and they are able to bump it over.
Tegan.
It gets nicked there. The spike will get it over. That was a set. She tried the one-armed bump. It didn't go. The Blue Devils will get the point, 23-16. Blue Devils are 2 points away from winning this set. And if you're wondering, the last 8 times that MRH has played Brentwood, it has gone all for the Blue Devils, as that is another point. She's able to stay off the net there.
That was a very good move by attacker number 5.
It's Abby Gerhard.
Got 2 Abbies on this team.
Got a lot of Abbies. Remember last year there was Abby Kaufman. She was one of the seniors that graduated, as Maplewood has the game point. It's 24-17. We'll talk a lot about that in the second game, but there are a lot of seniors that this MRH team is missing, as Tegan Daw is not able to corral that one. It would go for a point for Brentwood. 24-18.
Brentwood is definitely fighting, trying their best to keep MRH from winning the last point they need.
Will go over, and MRH looking to end it right here if they can. Stone decides to bump it instead of spike. Another spike, but it is deflected, and Maplewood will win the first set of this one, 25-18, the final. They'll take a breather. The Eagles, they'll take a breather, and then we'll get the second set started in about 3 minutes or so. But to talk about that first set,
I was seeing a lot of action, quite a lot of communication compared to JV, where we saw a little bit of a lack of it. And here we saw a lot of people doing what they did best. We saw some very powerful bumps from Abby Stone, and Rachel Dickinson as a libero was doing quite a good job in defending the middle of their side of the court.
And we are seeing, too, some of these gals that have been there for a while finally getting a real good shot this season. Of course, you have Tegan Daw. She has played volleyball all throughout high school. She's getting an opportunity here as an outside hitter. You have Abby Gerhard, number 5, who is the tallest player for the Blue Devils, I might add, by about 2 or 3 inches.
Yeah, I noticed she definitely used that to her advantage. She was able to spike that ball and get it over to Brentwood's side very easily. She was able to defend very well.
And you're also seeing, too, Rachel Dickens out there for the Blue Devils, kind of filling in that role that has been left by Morgan Green, who graduated last year. Again, a lot of the players that were varsity starters for the Blue Devils, all in that same class of 2020. You had Lydia Grauer, Abby Kaufman. You had Lily Sporleader, Whitney Schranz, like I said, Morgan Green. And so what they're looking to do is fill in all of these huge holes that have been left. And right now, I mean, it's only the first game of the season. You know, you've only had 2 weeks of practices. What you're seeing is very encouraging especially when you're playing your arch rivals on your home court.
Definitely. You've got these big shoes to fill from last year's seniors, but I think Maplewood has taken it upon themselves, and they've done very well with raising a next generation of volleyball players. A third of their team is currently out playing for club volleyball, which has given everyone more time to play this season. But still, that's almost 1/3 of a team of usually 19 players that have decided to play for a club sport, which definitely leaves a considerable gap.
And this team, well, there's no denying the success that MRH has had over the past couple years. 2 straight district championships, 2018, 2019. Since 2009, they've won 3 district championships. Last year, they were the ones who knocked Brentwood out in the second round of the district tournament bracket. And then MRH went on to beat Crossroads to win their second straight districts. They went to sectionals. They lost to, I believe how you pronounce this school's name is Fatima, but they went on to lose to them in the state sectional bracket. But 2 straight district championships.
Brentwood has it. It's bumped over to Maplewood. Rachel Dickinson gives it to Chloe Moorland, and it's, they try to send it back to Brentwood, but they just fall short. Now it's up to Brentwood to serve. Immediately sent back by Abby Stone. Brentwood sends it over to Maplewood, and it just is out.
This Brentwood team this year, what they're looking for is good effort out of their squad. They're looking to try and get the rust out, and they're really focused more on growth.
Maplewood celebrates as they score another point in the second set of this game. If they win this set, then they will have won this game. Chloe prepares to serve. Brentwood sets it and then bumps it over to Maplewood. Rachel Dickinson saves it. Sent back to Maplewood. Chloe bumps it. And Brentwood sends it back to Maplewood. And after a little bit of back and forth, Tegan tries her best to save it, but it does go out. A point to Brentwood.
And Tegan Daw has kind of dipped her feet in everything, you could say, for MRH. Involved in a lot of sports, involved in a lot of activities.
Brentwood is ready to serve. Yes, Tegan has definitely been a very faithful player for MRH. Serve to Abby Stone. And it gets tangled in the net. Looked like it's back to Brentwood. We're at 2-2. Brentwood wants to win this set if it wants to stay in the game. Rachel Dickinson bumps it up. Abby Stone just slams it over. A very good save by Brentwood. It's Rachel Dickinson, and Chloe sends it back to Brentwood. Brentwood sets it, and it hits the net. A point to MRH.
Rachel Dickens last year. I mean, for the fact that you had a lot of seniors that graduated, she might not have necessarily got the amount of playing time. But Dickens still did have 27 digs and 2 aces on 19 of her serves.
Oh, look at that. Helena sends it right to a Brentwood player, but the ball did come to a rest in kind of in the player's lap. Helena has served it, but unfortunately it didn't make it over.
You know, there's one thing I really do miss about having fans here in the stands at MRH High School. Whenever the aces were scored, you always have that thing that you do. Each team has it. As Maplewood tries to save that point, but they can't. It's 5-4 Eagles. Whenever MRH gets the ace, the players on the floor stomp.
Yes.
M, the bench, stomp, R, and then the crowd.
It's such a great ambient when you have an audience to the game. Everyone is very pumped up. It's disappointing this year, but we know all 70 people watching at home are probably very excited to see MRH and Brentwood play each other in a year that's been very, very different from past years. Abby serves for us. And unfortunately, Brentwood sends it out of bounds.
Got 70 people. Wow. Look at that. No, I'm not a math major, but I think 70 people, that's a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, if we had 70 people sitting here, I'm sure we would be like, it's a
That'd
lot of
be
people
loud.
watching a game. Abby manages to get there in time to send it back to Brentwood. Brentwood sends it back to Maplewood, and they managed just to get it in where no one is protecting. It hits the floor.
This second set, just based off of how back and forth it's been, how close the score is, it feels like it's going to be a lot like the first set of the JV match.
Yes, everyone has lots of energy. Both teams clearly think they have the ability to control this game. Everyone is in it to win it. Brentwood is serving again. MRH is at 6. Brentwood is at 7. They have a narrow lead. Now it's 7-7. The ball hit the net, unfortunately, for Brentwood. And now number 6, Ellen Powell, is serving for MRH.
Ellen Powell checking in for the Blue Devils.
Looks like it just was out of bounds. It's very difficult telling if something is out of bounds. It just has to barely touch the line, and it is considered in, but it looks like that was out. Brentwood scores again. They celebrate, and they will be serving again. They are currently in the lead by 2 points. If they keep up this 2-point lead, they will win this match, this set. Tegan bumps it to Abby, and it is sent over, and Brentwood tries to save it, but it does hit the floor. A point for MRH.
That right there, trying to save it for the Eagles, was number 6, Caroline Gambas. Last year, she was 4th on the team with 65 serves. She dives again to try and get it. She also was 3rd on the team with 14 kills and tied for 4th with 37 digs. So she can kind of play all over the place. She's a real reliable player for the Eagles.
Rachel serves again. She has just subbed back into this game. This is her 2nd serve. It's Brentwood sends it, and Rachel gets there in time and Abby sends it back to Brentwood. Brentwood sets it and spikes it over to MRH. MRH just gets it there, and Brentwood sets it and spikes it directly to MRH. Abby Stone saves it back to Brentwood. To MRH now, and Rachel gets there. Wow, this is a great rally. Brentwood has it again. It's set, and it's spiked. Rachel again. A point to Brentwood.
Those rallies like that, those are probably some of the most fun things to watch. You get that, or you get one of the taller players winding up and getting a great spike right at the net. But when you get a really good rally going, you see the communication that everybody's working with.
Everyone working together very well. You especially see this with varsity. Tegan sends it to Brentwood. Brentwood bumps it to MRH. Abby Stone sends it over with a very powerful bump. Brentwood sets it and spikes it to MRH. And it just hits the net. It looked like it was going to Brentwood, but unfortunately got tangled in the tape, and it did land on MRH's side. Currently, Brentwood is at 11 and MRH is at 9. They just might win this second set, which would be very good for them, which would mean both teams would go to a 3rd set to decide the winner. And unfortunately, Brentwood's serve hits the net, and the ball goes back to MRH.
Yeah, Tegan Daw will serve. They pretty much made a full rotation at this point.
Very powerful serve. Brentwood bumps it and sends it back to MRH. Rachel Dickinson definitely gets in there and saves it from hitting the floor. But Brentwood is in the lead still.
Double hit there by number 4, Chloe Moorland.
Brentwood scores another point. Tegan just misses getting there in time. Brentwood serves again, and Rachel Dickens manages to send it to Brentwood, and Brentwood gets tangled in the net. Now Maplewood has the ball. Number 4, Chloe Moorland is serving for us. Chloe serves it to Brentwood, and Brentwood tries to save it from going out of bounds, but a point to MRH, an admirable effort though. Chloe is serving again.
One team gets a lead, it's not really safe with the back and forth kind of vibe that this whole set has been getting.
Abby Stone, I liked how she jumped up to just to defend along the net there. She wasn't sure if the ball was going to cross the net, but it was very good. She got there defensively. Brentwood sets it and spikes it to MRH, and Tegan tries her best to send it back, but it does hit the ceiling, and Brentwood has it again.
Whenever you get a ball that hits off of the rafters or that tarp, the way that it's spun, sometimes I've seen people keep it alive by headbutting it, by kicking it. Sometimes it hits off of their face, sometimes because they want it to, sometimes because they don't want it to.
Yeah, strange accidents happen in volleyball. I mean, I'm seeing a couple of volleyballs in the rafters of the gym here, which I'm pretty sure they were probably stuck there by varsity games. I mean, we already had one ball hit the ceiling. I wouldn't be surprised to see it happen again. There's some very powerful serves. Brentwood sets it and spikes it over, and it is in and manages to hit the ground where no Maplewood player is at.
You could see Carmen over on the bench. Cheryl Carmen, the MRH coach, she's trying to tell the girls spread out and get ready for sets.
Yeah, it's very important to defend the back of the court. That's where a lot of powerful serves can end up. And if you're bunched near the net trying to attack, it can mean that the ball will hit the ground. Abby Stone serves, and it is just out. Brentwood now has the ball. They will serve.
I'll tell you, that one was really close. From our vantage point, looking at where it is, we're almost right even with that near side back line.
A powerful serve by Brentwood winds up in Maplewood gaining possession of the ball. I think that there was a little bit of discrepancy with what just happened, but
got Amber Day checking in to do the serve, checking in for Ellen Powell.
Unfortunately, it didn't quite make it over, so Brentwood has it again. MRH is at 16, Brentwood is at 17 with a lead of 1 point. They'll have to gain a bigger lead if they would like to win this set. And it looks like they're going to do just that. They have won another point. They're at 18.
If you're just joining us, MRH Blue Devils versus the Brentwood Eagles here at Maplewood Richmond Heights High School. Maplewood on the far side, they've got kind of the white piping on the side. Brentwood has got kind of the purple. They're both wearing all black uniforms.
Brentwood is fighting for control of this set. They have just served. They've sent it to Maplewood. It was bumped. Abby tries to save it, but it gets tangled in her arms, and Brentwood now has the ball again. Oh, Brentwood hits the net, so it's back to MRH.
If I recall from my research, I think it's been since 2018 that the Eagles have won a set. They haven't won a set against MRH since 2018.
It's definitely a bit of rivalry between them, which is why I think it was very fitting that the first game of this season, and this very unusual season, was between Brentwood and MRH. I'm sure MRH is glad to have the home court, and currently Brentwood sets it up and spikes it to MRH, and Rachel Dickens almost gets there, but the ball hits the ground, and Brentwood has the point.
4-point lead for the Eagles. as Ellen Powell will check back in for MRH.
Brentwood is preparing to serve. Tegan bumps it. It is set and sent over to Brentwood. And oh, very good save by number 6 on Brentwood. And oh, number 9, looks like Helena Roberts just manages to tap it over the net onto Brentwood's sides, gaining a point for MRH.
That could be a real momentum changer there. Something just as little as that to kind of break up the flow of the continual number of points. When you go on a run like that, just breaking it up, it helps so much change the flow and the momentum.
Tegan serves just out of bounds. Brentwood has it again. We're seeing a lot of back and forth. We're seeing a couple of server errors, which results in a very back and forth pattern of Brentwood MRH serves. Brentwood is pulling ahead in this last half of the game. MRH had quite a considerable lead toward the middle of this game, but Brentwood is definitely regaining it. Maplewood has the serve, but they still have a very good lead. Number 4, Chloe Moorland is preparing to serve. And oh, unfortunately, it just gets out. We're at the very last point. If Brentwood can secure this point, they will win the set, and we will go to a third set.
First time since 2018.
It's a very big moment for Brentwood. They serve, and it's bumped. Abby Stone sends it over with a very powerful bump. Number 24 sets, and oh, it's just out. They'll have to play a little bit longer. MRH is at 20. Brentwood is at 24. They will really have to fight harder to win this set, which, as Michael said, will be the first time since 2018 that MRH and Brentwood have gone to a third set. Brentwood sets it. A powerful bump, and oh, Helena, such a powerful bump. Helena makes a small error, and it does result in it going out of bounds. And Brentwood has won a set. We're at 1 set each, and there will be a third set between the teams. I'm sure Brentwood is very excited to have pulled through so well and to have such a lead, and even through the back and forth server errors on both sides, they were able to secure that set.
I'll tell you what, I know for a fact Brentwood really happy about that, really happy.
Oh,
their coach is a alumni, and you know how it is with alumni of schools coming back. You want to beat your rivals, and she is bound and determined this year over at Brentwood to put up a good fight against the Blue Devils. And now for the first time in 3 years now, MRH loses a set to Brentwood.
I'm sure they weren't expecting that. I mean, I'm sure they were expecting to see more of what happened with the JV. Maplewood secured both sets, but it's going to be a little bit harder this varsity game, which I guess you would expect with such experienced players.
And what you normally see in a game that doesn't have to deal with any sort of COVID restrictions on it, number one, we'd have fans in the stands, which we're not able to have them now because we want to make sure everyone is staying safe at home. Michelle and I are both wearing masks. All of our crew is also wearing masks. That's Chris Works, Eliza Eggers, and Mr. John Red. We're all masked up. We're all socially distant. We're all good to go.
All the players as well are wearing masks, which I'm sure isn't very easy when you get to the third set like this.
In fact, that was actually a worry of Coach Robertson over for the Eagles. She was very, very worried about some players possibly having to deal with dehydration wearing their masks because it can get a little hot around your face. But it looks like right now all of the players are doing all right. And another thing that we're missing too with COVID, most of the time you'd switch sides after each set. The whole bench would pick up and you'd move to the other side. But that is not the case with this match today, and it probably won't be the case with many matches to come, just so that way you can stay following COVID protocols. All the seats are socially distanced.
The only people watching this game are the coaches and the JV players that are sitting on just below on the stands here.
We got a couple trainers here as well, and of course our crew.
Right, Brentwood is about to serve. This is the third set. Whoever wins the game. Abby Stone bumps it over to Brentwood. Brentwood, oh, it's just tipped into Brentwood. Number 1 tries to save it, and MRH secures the first point of the set. Number 11, Tegendaw, is serving for MRH. And it is just out. I'm sure they were hoping to secure an early lead in this set because everyone is very tired towards the third set. There's lots of jumping and running, trying to get there on time. But it looks like it will be another very close set for both teams. Brentwood is now about to serve, number 7. Chloe gets there. Abby. It's saved by Brentwood. It's set and it's spiked. Our libero Rachel Dickens just gets it over, but it is still a point for Brentwood. Brentwood has secured the second point in this game.
That is Gerhard and Moorland right there having some difficulty trying to figure out the communication. We also want to thank Ellen Powell, who just ran up to us, gave us some information. This is going to be the final set.
Yeah, sometimes in college you'll have a 5-set game, but we've tried to pack in both JV and varsity today, so we're just playing the 3 sets.
Can you imagine 5 sets, though?
Oh my
with
gosh.
How tired you might have to be right now with your masks on.
Double that by another 2 sets, and my goodness. Brentwood tries to send it to MRH, but it does hit the net. MRH now has it again. Number 4, Chloe Moorland, is serving. I just emailed her the other day, and we had a really nice conversation about the goals of the team and what they hope to accomplish this year, which was to, of course, win as many games as possible, but also help the next group of players, those players that are in freshman and sophomore year, get ready to take over to become varsity members in the future, since we've got a number of seniors who are leaving this year that have played for all 4 years. Like Tegendaw has played for all 4 years. We've got Rachel Dickens, who's a very powerful libero, who is also a senior. Chloe serving again. With one bump, Brentwood sends it back. Helen just taps it over the net and it hits the floor. They've scored a point. Chloe serves again. Maplewood has done a very great job of keeping possession of the ball, continually scoring. Unfortunately, that serve wasn't powerful enough and it does hit the net.
What you're liking here, though, if you're a fan of the Blue Devils, is they didn't let that momentum Brentwood was building up near the end of that second set get to them. They were like, okay, we've got about 3 minutes now to take a break, and we're going to take this momentum right back. They have it now, but that one just goes out. It's 7-4.
Yes, I definitely think energy comes with maturity. These girls have been playing for a long time, and although this year has looked different, they've maintained their enthusiasm for the game. Brentwood scores another point and celebrates. They'll be serving again.
There's some of the ace celebrations we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, usually we'd have all the stands stomping their feet and getting very excited.
Normally when we see this specific matchup happening without COVID, when you have fans, it's normally homecoming night. It's the first big event of homecoming, and so you've got full house, not a seat empty.
Stone sends it over again, and although Brentwood does try and save it, Stone's very powerful spike gains them the point. Number 9, Helena, is serving for us. Brentwood again tries to save. They've been very, very consistent with those saves, but unfortunately it does go back to Maplewood.
This third set can kind of dog players just because of how how much energy they've had to exude before this. But Brentwood, their coach said that's not a problem. A lot of these girls have played winter sports, so they're still in shape from those winter sports. We got a pretty good volley going here.
Yeah, these are all definitely athletes. Both are very invested in the game. Both have one set. This will be the deciding set. And Brentwood celebrates again as they will be serving.
And that right there
Unfortunately, that ball was left, assuming that it would be out, but it wasn't in the corner right there. That's why we've got our handy linemen there. Tegan bumps. Number 5 gets there in time. Abby sends it over. Brentwood spikes it, and number 4, Chloe, saves it admirably. Coach Carmen runs in to give a little bit of advice on the sideline there, probably to share with them to spread out a little bit to protect all areas of the court. And we had a volleyball almost hit our Coach Carmen.
You know, I know Carmen understands that sometimes the ball just kind of hits off your wrist at a weird angle, as that's a timeout called by the Blue Devils. But it feels like sometimes, too, if you bump it wrong maybe and it might accidentally, go towards Carmen or something, she might give you her famous death stare.
Oh, yeah, the death stare known in the classroom and on the court, and is equally powerful.
She uses that death stare out when she was a track coach here for MRH2. 3 track state championships for Coach Carmen when she was coaching the boys track team here at MRH from 2009 through 2011. 3 straight of them. That in addition to a couple district championships as volleyball coach.
Yeah, Coach Carmen has always been very invested in sports at MRH. She's definitely left her mark on the program in multiple sports. Brentwood serves, and it does hit the net. We were talking about how the tarp could come into play in this game earlier towards the beginning of number 14, Abby, serving for us. We've seen her give very strong spikes, and look at that serve. So strong that it bounces off number 3 and one of the linemen.
That line judge looked kind of scared for her life. That ball kind of hits off of the weird bump to try and, get a dig on the play, and looked like it's heading right for her face. She has to do a matrix move.
Brentwood unfortunately, Brentwood with their spectacular saves doesn't manage to keep the ball in play. Abby will be serving again with one of her very powerful and sometimes scary serves. Number 7 slides in, and it's sent over with a good bump. Abby gets there in time. Number 11 sends it over to Brentwood. Brentwood sets it and bumps it. We're having a bit of a rally now. Number 10 bumps it. It's hit over, and even with such great effort from Brentwood, Maplewood scores the point. They are currently in a 4-point lead over Brentwood. They need to have a lead of at least 2 points to win this set. Abby serving for us again.
And they will go up to 25 in this set, and that's good recognition there by MRH to know where Brentwood is and isn't, as that is another ace for the Blue Devils. But to recognize, all right, where are the Eagles at? Where are they kind of jumbling up? Where can I get a good spike with enough topspin on it and just kind of let it almost delicately fall in there?
Brentwood attempts a dig, but MRH has it again. They are currently managing to rack up a number of points with their server as Abby Stone. I was about to confuse her last name with the server. Brentwood bumps it over to MRH. Number 5, tallest player, as Michael pointed out, who has done a number of very good plays and just managing to tap the ball over the net. We see her jump and manages to send it over to Brentwood's side, but it does go out of bounds. Brentwood scores its first point in a while.
That's interesting because the refs kind of overruled it there. The line judge on the far side, who has both this near side line and the far side back line, called it in.
Brentwood preparing to serve. Unfortunately, it hits the net. Number 10, Amber Day, one of our seniors, is preparing to serve. Lots of the seniors have definitely stepped up and encouraged younger players. They've also helped out a lot by setting. Brentwood scores the point.
Got a bit of a run going. And you know who you haven't really seen a lot in this third set is the senior libero for MRH. If you're watching on your screen, she is the only one wearing a different color uniform. She is the one in the blue top for the Blue Devils. Rachel Dickens hasn't really played a lot here in this third set.
Bumped over by Helena. Brentwood sets it, just manages to set it over, and it gains the point. Sometimes those close to the net plays can be very difficult because you can't quite tell what side of the net that ball will land on. There's a little bit of depth perception involved there, which is why we've got our attackers. Amber, we've got a set, and it's sent over to Brentwood. A very good save by number 2 on Brentwood. And it appears there was some sort of violation which resulted in a point
that one
for
was
MRH.
Clear and easy lift on that one, and now we get to see Dickens come into the contest.
Just manages to make it over. Brentwood immediately sends it back to MRH, and Brentwood now has the ball as Maplewood just sends it out of bounds. Number 24 for Brentwood will be serving. Abby Stone bumps it up, and then very good set. 24 saves it. I'm seeing Brentwood is always trying to get there. They're wholly committed, but unfortunately there's been some very good plays by MRH that has resulted in no one being able to get there in time. And Abby Stone, we were just talking about how powerful her serves and her bumps are. It can be a little bit intimidating to get your face in front of that ball. Maplewood scoring again, now at 20.
5 points to go. And you know, when you talk about what this team is doing, how hard the Eagles have been playing, Coach Robertson said that's been one of the goals this year. She's looking for great effort. She says this team has a lot of heart. You kind of saw it on that play there. It looked like some of the Eagles were willing to run into the wall to try and get that.
Oh, definitely. You're seeing a lot of effort. They're running off the court to try and save balls. It's definitely an amazing and entertaining game to watch here. I mean, we're lucky enough to be here, but I hope that the live stream does justice to the amount of running around both sides are doing. We're currently on timeout. The score is 21-15. MRH is in the lead. They only need 4 more points to win the second set and therefore win the game. I'm sure tension is very high for both sides as they both really want to start this season with a win.
If you'll remember back to the earlier game and the earlier sets of this match, the Blue Devil JV team was able to win in 2 straight sets over the Eagles JV squad. MRH was able to win the first set of this match. They lost the second, their first loss to the Eagles in a set, not in a match, in a set since 2018.
Man, I'm sure some of the senior players are very happy to finally get to win that second set against MRH. So they feel like they're making a bit of history here, and it'd be wonderful if they managed to win the game against MRH for the first time in a very long time. Rachel tries her best to get there, but Brentwood manages to secure the point.
And I think there is a clear balance that needs to be struck here. The difference between spacing out and making sure that you're in tight so that way no balls can find any of those cracks that you might have in the floor, as that one kind of falls right in front of MRH, and that will be a point.
Amber, I feel like a little bit of depth perception there. You have a ball flying at you and gets there a little bit quicker than you might anticipate.
Sometimes with the spin on her, sometimes the ball might even knuckle. It just might drop or something on you. You're not really sure what to do. You just freeze because it's supposed to hit you right in your wrists, and it just drops.
Brentwood serves. Amber gets there. Chloe bumps it up and Stone serves it over and scores the point.
That right there is one great spike. That was power. And you saw Abby Stone didn't even have to jump for it. Just sat there flat-footed, threw her hand out, and just whacked that thing.
She's been very vital in this game. We've been seeing a lot from her, and we've been seeing a lot from Rachel, their libero. Both of them have been working very hard to secure this lead. Brentwood saves it. Chloe bumps it, and Amber sets it up. Abby just hammers it, and Brentwood tries to get there, and it sends it out of bounds. Maplewood is very excited to gain that point. Lots of the energy has came back. Usually there's a little bit of a lull towards the middle of the game as everyone's very tired. Each have worked very hard to win a set, but everyone seems to have their energy back. They're trying to win this game. A very powerful spike from Brentwood, but it does go out of bounds.
18-24 is the score. The Blue Devils, as they go into a timeout called by Brentwood, MRH has the match point. They are looking to extend their winning streak over the Brentwood Eagles. They're looking to extend it to an even 10 games, or excuse me, to an even 9 games.
I'm sure Brentwood is trying to find a way how to lengthen their playing time, maybe tire out MRH and get a couple of points. Maplewood, I'm sure, is pretty confident about their position.
We want to remind you, too, as soon as this set is over, we're done for the night. The next matchup for the Blue Devil girls volleyball program, it's a home game against Hancock. So keep that in mind. You're going to have to watch that on the live stream through the district YouTube page.
Tuesday the 16th?
Tuesday the 16th, you have the JV starting at 4, and you'll have the varsity starting at 5 against the Hancock Tigers.
Brentwood bumps it over to MRH. Amber Day sets it, and Abby, she manages to get it over, but unfortunately it looks like Brentwood secures the point.
Looked like they called a double hit on that one.
Yeah.
That one is out. That
Look
is a
at
point.
that. With that, MRH wins the game. Brentwood just hits it out of bounds. And MRH wins 2 sets to the Brentwood's 1 set. Both MRH's JV and varsity have won games against Brentwood tonight. Both teams played remarkably well, both their JV and their varsity.
And they're all just kind of sitting around. They're not really acting like we're going to play 5 sets. So unless something is changing here on us, because I got a text message and a message about it saying, an in-person message. We had Ellen Powell running up here telling us that we should only be playing about 3 sets.
Yeah.
So if we're going to best 3 out of 5,
I'm sure.
I mean, we'll get more volleyball in. Why
I know,
not?
yeah. I mean, everyone's got the energy. Everyone's excited. They're celebrating their aces.
I'm going to double check here. They've got the clock going like they're going to play another set. That we're going to do a 3 out of 5 instead of a 2 out of 3. It's like, you know, when you're playing rock, paper, scissors. You know, who's got to go buy something over at the gas station. You lose 2 and you're like, all right, 3 out of 5.
Yeah, keep playing.
And then you lose and you're like, all right, 4 out of 7, 5 out of 9.
I'm sure these girls could play all night. They've just been so entertaining to watch. I'm sure everyone at home, we were upwards of 70 viewers recently. I'm sure everyone was enjoying seeing their friends and family members play so well in a season that we didn't think was going to happen. Both teams had problems with losing a couple players to other sports or players who decided to play for their club volleyball this year, but both teams played very well. Both teams communicated. I think that might be it for tonight. I think we're playing the 3 sets.
Not sure everyone's talking. We still got the clock running. The referees might be getting ready. If you're on the live stream, just stick with us for a second because we are still trying to make sure we've got everything correct We don't want to give you guys any false information. That'd be a no-no. And Carmen's hyping up her team. They're getting ready. They're going to play another set. We're going to a fourth set. It's a new varsity rule this year that you can, if you decide, you can play a best of 5 instead of a best of 3.
Oh, wow. Are they going? Wow. We
got more volleyball for you.
Oh, look at that. We thought don't go away. We were having more sets.
More volleyball is always fun here at MRH High School. The Blue Devils taking on the Brentwood Eagles in the home opener for MRH, the first game of the season for Brentwood. Both of these teams are 0-0. MRH won the first and third sets. Brentwood won the second. And we're back underway, Michelle.
Right. Brentwood just manages to hit it out. Maplewood gains a point of this. We're in the fourth set now, believe it or not. Tegan will be serving for MRH again.
It's Michelle Ryan alongside me. I'm Michael Langston. Our great crew helping us out with this broadcast is Chris Works, Eliza Eggers, and Mr. John Redden.
Amber Day bumps it to Brentwood. Brentwood sets it over the net. Abby just sends it back to Brentwood with one hand. Again, it's set and it's bumped. Amber gets there in time to bump it. It's sent back to Brentwood. Brentwood just manages to save it from hitting the floor. Rachel Dickens, our libero for MRH, tries her best to get there in time, but Brentwood secures the point. Brentwood serves, and it seems like a very powerful serve that it managed to hit off Tegan there out of bounds.
It's a good job there by Amber Day to let that one go and kind of recover a bit of momentum after Brentwood gets an ace. Amber Day last season was able to play in 9 games. She had 18 serves in those 9. She is an outside hitter.
Brentwood hits the ball into the net. We've got Chloe Moorland, one of our seniors, coming to serve. I said earlier, I was just talking with Chloe about some of the goals that MRH had to reorient for this year, seeing as we don't have state. They just want to better themselves and, of course, win as many games as possible, but also just prepare all the younger players, especially since we're having a number of players, Amber and our libero, Rachel, a number of others leaving this year. Brentwood will be serving. They send it over, and unfortunately, it doesn't look like there was enough communication. It does hit the floor right in front of Chloe Moorland. Brentwood will be serving again. It hits the net. Doesn't look like the serve was powerful enough to get over.
We're getting a real good back and forth action again. This game is not staying with leads long. It's now 5-4, but it was 4-4. Brentwood now has the lead. Again, both teams are wearing black tops and bottoms, but if you want to really tell the difference, MRH will have one player wearing a blue jersey. It's the libero, Rachel Dickens, as Brentwood gets the ace. Rachel Dickens on MRH is wearing the blue jersey. And if you want to try and tell the difference, MRH is on the far side. Brentwood is on the near side. Brentwood kind of has the purple piping on the side of their jerseys. MRH has the white.
Amber bumps it, and it's spiked over. Number 3 from Brentwood saves it remarkably well. It just is sent over the net by number 5. Number 5, Abby Gerhard, tries to hit it over, but it gets tangled a bit in the net. We're having a lot of server errors going back and forth on either team.
Just feels as though there might not necessarily be a lot of power behind the serves, but I don't think you're going to have a problem right here on this serve by Abby Stone.
Abby's always been having a very powerful man. Brentwood tries to save, and I hope she didn't hurt her fingers on that one, because that was a very powerful serve coming from Abby, and she's about to do it again It's bumped, now set by Brentwood, and unfortunately no one was there to send it back to Maplewood. Abby will be serving again.
It's a bit of a communication error you'd see more with a JV contest where everyone backs out because they assume someone's going to dive in and save it with a bump, put it back over the net.
It's very important to yell mine or I have it or something to make sure that there isn't a crowd in the wrong place. Tegan bumps it back to Brentwood. Brentwood sets it up and manages just to make it over number 5's head, and they win a point. It's very important to try and get it over that first line of attackers because number 5, Abby, is very tall, so it would be difficult to maybe set it over her head. A serve, and Abby tries to set it there, but goes backwards. Brentwood is definitely pumped up. They're at 9. MRH is at 7. They're currently in the lead. Helena bumps it. Amber bumps it, and it is sent over by Chloe to Brentwood. Brentwood sets it up and just smacks it over. And it was in. I think Abby thought that was out, but they have won another point.
You had Stone and Daw both trying to read that play, and the ball just didn't have enough spin on it to really move it more towards the line. But the good news is that's not an unearned point because now Brentwood just gave a point to MRH. 10-8, the Eagles on top.
Wow, that was a very good play by Brentwood. It just managed to sneak in between players on MRH and hit the ground. They'll now have the serve.
Actually,
wait a second, I think
they called the double hit.
Ah, look at that. MRH has it. It's a little bit hard to see from up here. We're up in the stands watching the game. Well, now Brentwood has it again. Brentwood preparing to serve. Tegan bumps it up. Brentwood just manages to tap it over the net and get it into that corner where no one was protecting. So they're at 12. It's very good to secure a lead this early in the game.
It's a great play, too. A little sneaky play right there.
Wow, Tegan jumps up with a very good bump. Again, she bumps it over to Brentwood. Brentwood sets it up and just taps it over. Oh, number 4, Chloe, and now to Amber, who sends it back to Brentwood. Chloe just sets it over, just taps it over the net and manages to get the serve for Maplewood.
It's a good play there by Chloe Moorland to kind of use a bit of Brentwood's medicine against them, give them their own taste of it. Brentwood on 2 straight plays, they were able to get 1 point off of it, where they just they act like they're going to do a quick little set, and they just go to do a little one-hand tip, get the ball over the net, and surprise MRH.
Brentwood preparing to serve. They're still in the lead. Abby bumps it up. Chloe with a bump, and it is sent to Brentwood. Brentwood with a bump. They set it up. We're having quite a bit of a back and forth. Both teams have very experienced players. Unfortunately, Brentwood, though both teams doing spectacularly well with that back and forth, does hit it out. Tegan will be serving for Maplewood. Brentwood bumps it and then sets it over to MRH. Abby with such a powerful serve that it seems to just pass over the head of their middle blocker, Brentwood's middle blocker. Brentwood sending it over Tegan tries to get there, but looks like Brentwood has scored again.
They got a 2-point lead, and we're getting into the time where that 2-point lead, well, now it's 3 points on the ace. That can feel a little bit daunting. 15-12, the Eagles on top of the Blue Devils.
Things can get quite a bit messy. Both Maplewood and Brentwood have a very good chance of winning this game. You need to have a 2-point lead over the other team to win the set. So it's never good to be this close in a game because there's always the chance you'll have to play longer in the set to decide the winner. Brentwood hits it into the net, and Maplewood now has possession again.
You can hear sometimes, too, just how almost deathly quiet it will get whenever someone serves. It's like golf when they're getting ready to swing.
There's definitely high expectations. Brentwood, who's doing very well this season, seeing as they've never managed to make it beyond a second set with MRH since, you said, 2018. So they're making history at the moment for them, being able to play a fourth set against Maplewood.
MRH, though, does have the 2-1 set lead. If MRH wins this set, it's over. If Brentwood wins this set, we're going to a fifth.
Wow.
It's a great rebound play there. So you had Helena Roberts is able to stand up the attempted spike, but Brentwood saves it and they put it back over. They retake the momentum pretty much almost immediately from the Blue Devils, and then they're able to convert a point into it. But now Maplewood snatches it right back as that serve goes into the net.
We're having a sub. Rachel is subbing out. We've seen not as much action from her as we saw in the last set, but I'm sure her position in the game means she does a lot of moving around, a lot of close saves. So I'm sure it's a very tiring position, especially since that's what they specialize in. A libero, they have to stay at that position. And it's kind of their job to protect the middle. Brentwood sets it up and just taps it over to Maplewood. Maplewood sends it back to Brentwood. Brentwood spikes it over. Tegan tries to recover it, but it bounces out of bounds. Brentwood, again, it's out of bounds back to Maplewood.
You'll notice a lot of the points that are being gotten, especially by the Blue Devils, have been based off of errors more than, a really good spike into a really smart spot. It's been just kind of miscommunication errors, letting the ball fall in, not reading it well if it's going to go in or out.
I'm sure at the beginning of this game, no one was expecting to have a 5-set game, so I'm sure people are a little bit tired towards the end and might not have as powerful of a serve as they would have toward the beginning of the game.
Running a bit on fumes almost.
Abby still with a very powerful serve. Chloe bumps it. It's set up by Amber, and it's hammered toward Brentwood. Brentwood sends it back to Maplewood. Abby just smacks it over to Brentwood, and it's a very good save by Brentwood. The Eagles set it, and unfortunately, the ball did come to rest, and looks like a point for MRH.
It is 19-18. The Blue Devils have one of their only leads of this set.
And it doesn't look like they stayed ahead for long, because now we're at 19-19 with the Brentwood serving. As you said, there's a number of server errors in this set, which have resulted for a number of points for both teams. Again, another server error. Amber, one of our seniors, will be serving. Bumped by Brentwood. Now, Abby doing a very good job just smacking it over as a middle blocker, just managing to tap it over. A timeout has been called.
timeout called by Brentwood, and MRH 2-point lead. We're getting really close to the set point, the match point. 21-19 is the current score. We said earlier, if you have been hanging out with the live stream, you saw this as well. The Blue Devils won the first set. They lost the second, but they were able to win the third. They are up 2-1. We're playing a best of 5. So if MRH wins this set, we're all done for the night. If not, we'll go to a fifth. In the JV contest earlier, the MRH Blue Devil JV girls, they won both of their sets against Brentwood.
Maplewood celebrates. They've gained the point again. Both Brentwood and Maplewood have come out here with expectations to win, and that's resulted in us playing into the night. Amber will be serving again.
Been going on now for about like an hour 15 or so.
Oh yeah.
Most of the time you can get this all wrapped up in an hour, maybe. Yeah, I mean 45.
The JV game, they went for what, an hour?
Not even. They went like 30 minutes or so. That's what you get when you add an extra set to it all.
Sent over to Maplewood. Abby to Brentwood. Brentwood sets it and prepares to deliver it to Maplewood. And it just manages to hit the ground in the middle. No one was really protecting that spot. That's usually where our libero Rachel would be, but she's currently sitting out. Another point to Brentwood.
There's a duck there by Helena Roberts. Kind of an interesting choice to decide to duck, as Coach Carmen will call a timeout to confer with her squad, as the Blue Devils went from being up 21-17. Now it's tied 22 all.
Man, the game has definitely turned around. I don't think they want Brentwood to score another point, because if there's that 2-point discrepancy between the winner and the loser, another set will be held. And that will take a lot of energy, especially seeing as this is our 4th set.
I can tell you what, there's a lot of people who probably need to have a bathroom break, and another set, well, that's going to delay that a little while.
Rachel has subbed back in. She's about to serve for us. She sends it over to Brentwood. Brentwood sets it, sends it, and Rachel tries to get there, but the Brentwood scores a point. We're still at 23-23. It looks like we probably will be playing into another set if Brentwood manages to score again, or wins the set if Maplewood wins and Brentwood scores another point. There we go.
Yeah, match point now for the Eagles. And remember, it's volleyball. You got to win by 2. You can't win by 1 point in volleyball. It's a lot like tennis. You have to win by 2. And with the match point here for Brentwood, if they get this, we go to a 5th. If MRH gets a point here, we'll have to play to 26.
Abby trying her best to save it. Amber, oh, wonderful save, but it does go out. We are at 2 sets to 2 sets.
We're at 2-2. And ladies and gentlemen, if you've stuck with us so far, guess what? We are going the distance. Think of this like Game 7 of the World Series, Game 7 of the Stanley Cup, or the NBA Finals. Because we got one of the best rivalries between St. Louis High School here for you on YouTube. MRH and Brentwood. We're going to a 5th set, brand new varsity rule here this season, where you can ask to go as a best of 5. And now with the 2 teams pretty much alternating wins, MRH winning the 1st and 3rd sets, Brentwood winning the 2nd and 4th, we will go to that 5th set.
I definitely wasn't expecting this at all. I assumed we'd have the 3 sets and call it a day, but Brentwood definitely came out here to win. This is the first time they've won. They've gone to the 2nd set alone with MRH since 2018, so this is a new territory for them. And I'm sure they really want to win this game against MRH. Usually Maplewood would be playing Brentwood at their homecoming. But because of the unusual year, this is the first game of the season at MRH's home court. Both teams have a chance to win, and both, I'm sure, want it.
So you're going to have 5 sets. And talking to Coach Erica Robertson over at Brentwood, she said she's really focused on growth for her players. She really wants her future players to grow. She wants her older players that are on the squad, she wants them to grow more this year, kind of develop better as players, as people. And with going the distance in the first game, that's going to show a lot of adversity to them. It might tire them out a little bit. But like we said, a lot of these players for both sides have played multiple sports so far this year. Now, MRH winter sports, they weren't able to play. They were only able to practice. But even then, you're practicing a ton. Physically, you're in shape. It's not like when you're coming back to start it off where in the fall, this is the first sport that you've played after all summer. And Brentwood's trying to get hype over there.
Yeah, Maplewood, the school didn't even come back until a couple of weeks ago. It was online learning. There was no opportunity to practice unless you were maybe with a club sport that allowed practicing over the winter months. But I think it's amazing. Maplewood, who is missing almost a third of their team of 19 to club volleyball, they've managed to fill in those gaps really well. The shoes that the seniors left behind last year, as well as those who decided to play club this year.
We're back with action.
Rachel gets in there to save it. And a point to Brentwood.
Looks like they called a double hit on that. Again, if you're just joining us, we're in the 5th set here at MRH High School between the Maplewood Richmond Heights Blue Devils, who are going to be on the far side in the black uniforms and tops with white piping. That's an ace there by Brentwood. They're in the black uniform tops with the purple piping here on the near side.
Amber bumps it. It's set by Abby. Brentwood with a bump. Abby again. Brentwood just taps it over, and it gets tangled in the net, and they score. Already they're at 3. MRH is at 0.
Until they're hyped. They found a little bit left in the tank somewhere. They're ready to go to start off 3-0 on this run. You had a run to finish it at the end, even though it was close in the last set.
Lena bumps it to Brentwood. Brentwood sets up and bumps it to MRH. Abby with another very powerful spike, but unfortunately hits the net, and it's Brentwood's serve.
It's one of the rare mistakes that you've seen her make on one of her spikes, because most of the time when she's hitting it at the right angle up top. She's able to get the ball over the net, but there she just kind of hit it a little bit too low.
Another casualty of Abby's very strong arm.
I like that way that you put it, another casualty, because it's true, it's a kill. That's the stat there. It's a kill. She gets a kill on that.
All right, we've got number 4, Chloe Moorland, one of our seniors, serving. Just gets over the net. Brentwood sends it back immediately, but unfortunately, it doesn't quite get over the net. And despite them trying to say, wait, did they get the? Nope. Yep, it's MRH.
Sometimes it can be confusing. Everyone's wearing the same color jersey.
Yeah. Reminds me of black and white TV a little bit. Can't tell people apart anymore.
It's like the first couple episodes of WandaVision.
That was a good decision to duck on Rachel Dickens' part. Chloe sends it to Brentwood. Brentwood sets it up, smacks it over to MRH. '24 sets it. Unfortunately, it hits the net. We're at 4-4. Whatever lead Brentwood had, it no longer has and we're currently tied.
It's an interesting little play there because Amber Day had to almost knock herself down to the ground to get out of the way so that way someone could play the ball on that last sequence. But now Brentwood is able to erase somewhat that tie. They now have the lead again, 5-4.
Brentwood serving again. Rachel gets in there, doesn't quite get over, and although Amber does try to save it, it gets tangled in the net. Brentwood still has the serve, working really hard to win this match against MRH. I like how Brentwood got up close to the net to make sure that the ball had no chance of getting over it.
It's also a bit of an intimidation thing for it. Out of your peripherals, you can see as that one will be a point for MRH. They get one back. Out of your peripherals, you're trying to track a ball coming from up in the air and you see something running at you, even though you know there's a net there. It scares you a little bit, gets you
definitely
thinking.
You just see this force come at you, especially since MRH has some very tall middle blocker.
Maplewood got the ace on that last one too, and they'll get another one, and we'll tie it back up at 7.
Number 9, Helena, serving for MRH. Brentwood bumps it up, tries their best to send it back to MRH, but it hits the net. Helena will be serving again.
Say hi to all, looks like 64 of you that are sticking around to watch this with us.
Although Brentwood tries its best, the ball does go out of bounds. We've said this before, and we'll say it again. Brentwood does an amazing job of trying to get put their bodies on the line a little bit to try and just get the volleyball from hitting the floor. They're always running after it, even to out of bounds, to try and save it.
They got heart.
Definitely.
They got a lot of heart. That's what Coach Erica Robertson was talking about. These guys over at Brentwood, the Eagles, they have a lot of heart. MRH High School bringing you girls volleyball action between the Maplewood Richmond Heights Blue Devils and the Brentwood Eagles. MRH on top 9-7 in the 5th set. We got 2 split sets so far. MRH has won the odds, Brentwood the evens. I'm Michael Inkson alongside Michelle Ryan. Our crew today helping us out on the broadcast, Chris Works, Eliza Agers, and Mr. John Redden.
Set and sent over to MRH. Abby again sends it over, and it just manages to brush the fingertips of Brentwood, and it gives the point to MRH. Helena will be serving again. Maplewood has done a great job of keeping the serve. A powerful smack by Abby.
I think that's the first time I've seen Abby Stone actually jump for a spike this game. She's been just using the power that she already has on the ground to spike it. That's the first time I've seen her go up to spike, and it works out.
Yeah, I think it's pretty amazing. She's able to read the ball, get there in time, and not have to jump for it. She backs up enough.
And then right after that, look what happens. It's an ace. So you go from the fun score of 7-11 to 7-12.
Brentwood sets it up, smacks it over, and they manage to get the serve. It seems a little bit of a communication error there. It didn't look like everyone knew where they were on the Maplewood side.
It's a bit of a double hit there, and that's what caused it. But that one will go out, and Maplewood will take it back over.
Helena was a very consistent server for Maplewood. She served quite a number of times, and they were able to really rack up points. Abby with a powerful serve. It's out of bounds. Brentwood tries to send it back to MRH, but it does get bumped out of bounds. Abby serving again. A bump by Brentwood. Gets tangled in the net. Number 24 on Brentwood tries her best to save it. A timeout has been called. Oh, wait.
Oh, no, it was the 5th set, so...
15 points.
They played to 15 this time, all righty. 5th set, they played to 15. That will end it, and the Blue Devils will come away with the victory here in their home opener, the first game of the season for both Brentwood and MRH.
No one expected to play this many sets, certainly not Brentwood, who hasn't managed to make it to 2 sets with MRH since 2018. Both teams played remarkably well.
And with that, the next Brentwood Eagles volleyball game is going to be a home game for them against Crossroads. Will start at 5:30 on March 15th. So any of you Brentwood fans still in the chat, that is when your next volleyball game will be. At home at Brentwood versus Crossroads. 5:30 p.m. start time on the 15th. For the Blue Devils, their next game is a home game against Hancock. You can find us right here on the live stream on YouTube. 4 o'clock is JV, 5 o'clock is varsity. That game will be on March 16th against Hancock. For our crew of Chris Works, Eliza Agers, and Mr. John Redden, Michelle Ryan's been alongside me for this entire contest. My name is Michael Langston. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We will see you all next time.